What's up, hockey fam and fellow dumpers? Welcome to another episode of Dump and Skate. I am the C League bender, future B League bender, and the Beer League ball buster, Jeremy Abdoo. With me, as always, the man with a voice for podcasting and definitely a face for podcasting, lead producer of this podcast, AC 40 plus league daycare provider, and league championship bound Jeremy Holland.
The intro gets better every time. That was a really long one. If you've stuck to this point, now you get to hear mine. What's up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? We're super glad to be back on talk with you guys. It's been a minute since we've recorded. Been kind of busy with life and stuff. So, but happy to be back. Happy to get back on the mic and chat with folks. I know a lot of people have been enjoying it. It's been good. I got to tell you about something that happened today, though. So it's what, like 8:30? Oh gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock tonight. So super late. You'll probably fall asleep mid pod, but that's okay. I had church tonight, and so I had to get the kids, and one of my kids had therapy, and so we had a bunch of appointments and things we were running to, and it was a bunch of running around, and my wife was at the house and things. So I dropped one of the kids off at therapy, drove to get food for the other kids, and so went to Chick-fil-A. Didn't get any Chick-fil-A for myself. That was good. Didn't eat anything. Relax. Not that kind of story. But got the two littlest ones some Chick-fil-A and ordered it, paid for it, and we're pulling around the little drive-through to come around the other side of the building. And all of a sudden I hear this like spraying noise, like water spraying out of a water gun or something. And I like my back gets soaked, like just saturated. I'm sitting in the front seat. Both the kids are in the back seat of the truck. And I immediately am like yelling, "What are you doing? What is going on?" And my daughter, who is 8 years old, is like, I don't know what happened. I just opened this thing. And I'm like, well, give me the thing you opened, like right now. What is this? And I'm noticing, like, as I'm fussing, like this awful smell now. And I'm like, oh no. So she hands me this old water bottle that's in the back, not like a water bottle, like the metal bottles with the screw on lids that you're like, you send with your kids to school and stuff. One of my little kids had put like apple juice in this water bottle, and they had left it in the back of my truck because they're kids and that's what they do. And it had gone like stale or moldy or whatever. And that during that chemical breakdown, I'm not a science teacher, so don't come at me with your chemical breakdown, like the right names and all. But during that chemical process, it built pressure up inside the bottle. And so just like if you take and fly on an airplane with a water bottle, you flip the lid open, it'll squirt water out. That's exactly what happened, except for it was nasty. It was nasty, probably like month-old apple juice sprayed all over the back seat of my truck, all over both of my kids in the back seat, all down my back. And so I was running to get dinner and trying to go back and pick up my other child from therapy. I had to make a detour and go home and change everybody's clothes because we were going straight to church from therapy. It's my truck. I left my windows down at church. It was so gross.
I feel like your car is like you use it for a mobile refrigerator with your microwave, and then now you got like,
it's a mobile kitchen.
I just feel like it's a walking. You're lucky, like they don't have like people just come by and check it like restaurants. You would totally fail inspection. You would fail inspection.
I've got to get my food grade on the window of the truck for the.
You would fail inspection.
I'm probably getting a 72 for sure. Yeah, I don't know why my kids are really bad about leaving stuff in the back seat. Like there's wrappers of food, but it's awful. And so, I mean, I don't eat Pop-Tarts and stuff or like packages of Oreos and all. And so there's crap. I mean, it's just everything. And so, it was really bad. I was really upset. I fussed a lot. So the same child, probably a month after I bought this truck, this was several years ago. We went to, it was probably Cookout. Because they give you, like when you order one of the meals. Austin Fink's place. And by the way, I listened back to that because I missed that place. His order, the Big Double, is the exact same order I used to get when I would go there. So guy after my own heart. I love the Big Double. It's such a good burger. Really bad for you, but good burger. So anyways, when you go there and you order sweet tea, they give you like one of these cups full of sweet tea, like a mega cup, right? And so my daughter grabbed one. And the next thing I know, she goes, uh-oh. And I said, uh-oh, what? And this is like 4 years ago, something like that, when I bought the truck. And I look back there, she dumped the whole thing of sweet tea all in my seat, like all in the seat. The truck is brand new to me. And I'm like,
moral of the story is don't have kids. Don't have kids.
I told her they weren't allowed. I told her they weren't allowed to have drinks or anything in the back of the car for quite a while. I was like, all right, guys, no drinks, no food. To this day, they're not allowed to have, like, if they get chicken nuggets or something, I let them eat in the car, no dipping sauce, none
All right,
whatsoever. Because I've had dipping sauce all over the floor, the seats. It's just been like,
remember at the
oh
beginning of the
man.
year, the whole purpose of not going to Chick-fil-A is so you and I can get our private jet. That
I
means
feel
the
like there's
kids.
one of us that's having to do a lot more work to get in the private jet than the other one. But yeah, no, the kids are going to have to start suffering, probably less because of the jet and more because, like, I'm just kind of sick of my car being ruined and smelling like some form of like stale old fast food restaurant. So
Well, the kids are not
it's
allowed in my private jet.
just,
All right, I don't want it
they'll
to
have
smell
their
like
own.
some
They're just gonna have their own section over there where there's
like a
plastic on the
kids
seats
table.
still,
A
like
kid,
plastic on the seats still in one section of the private jet. Like, you guys have to sit over there. Don't touch the nice things. You can't come over here and sit in the velvet seats or the leather ones. You have to sit on the plastic ones with grandma. Oh
mm.
man. So outside of that, it's been a good week. I've gotten some feedback from some buddies about listening to the podcast. Been a lot
We all
of
have.
good stuff.
It's been great getting feedback from people, and um, I told you this the other day. A friend of mine that I have not talked to in about 10 years since my hockey fundraiser, which we'll get into in another podcast. He reached out to me, says podcast is hilarious. It's exactly what he needs. Tony D'Amico, shout out to Tony D'Amico, the Flying Hawaiian. Really good guy, really good player, played in the Nahil. And he took some time off from hockey because he was battling some serious demons with addiction. And he is okay with me talking about his problems. He said that just let it all out there. Maybe I can help somebody. So he's going on 3 months sober. So really good guy. I hope he continues to fight through this, and I know he will. He's going to start playing hockey again. He's really looking forward to that. So I think that'll help him too. So Tony D'Amico, we're all rooting for you too.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Never met you, buddy, but Abdoo told me a little bit about you. So we're both definitely in your corner, and we know you'll end up listening to this. So much love from us, brother. Hope you enjoy the time back on the ice, and hope you keep fighting the good fight on your sobriety and stuff. Big support from
what's
us for sure.
what's up, brother? Do you know what that is? Yeah, he got it. Oh my gosh, I wanted to open up the podcast with that, but my friend, I told my friend I was going to do that, and then she's like, I wonder if he's going to respond back. So
Oh,
yeah,
I
special
got you.
teams,
I'm all
special
over
plays,
it.
special players. Tuesday. Oh, I'm so happy you did that. I'm going to do that at the rink tomorrow. I'm going to go around doing it at the rink tomorrow.
Oh gosh, see how many people you get.
Yeah, I love that. So if you guys know me, I get a little bit of Tourette's sometimes, and I just do it all day long. I was going special teams, special
It's
plays,
not
special plays.
Tourette's. That's not Tourette's. That's just
Oh,
lack of self control.
okay. Well, then I have Tourette's of lack self control, and I was just
My
going
my
Tuesday,
dog.
Tuesday.
My, you see, my dog's making a cameo here. Sorry about this. I haven't been seeing him all day, so he's like, "What are you
Oh,
doing over here, Dad?"
I'm so happy. My friend is like, I wonder if he's gonna get it. So
Oh yeah, no,
I'll have
yeah,
to
I'm
send her
here
this
with
clip.
you.
This is,
That's awesome. So I love it.
what's up,
Oh gosh,
brother?
that was good. What's up, brother?
All
Oh, that
right.
was good. All right, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. We want to talk a little bit of playoff stuff for ice because that's right here around the corner. And a couple of two of the divisions are already set. So the 40 plus is set. We're gonna have the Bulldogs and the Dementors are gonna play each other. And so that is Doug Newton. That's Lindsey Sprintz's older brother. I think his older brother. Maybe I'm just assuming, but it's Lindsey's brother. Captains that team. And the other team is the Dementors. That's our good buddy Andy Ponton and Raddick, a couple other guys we know. So they're going to be, what are you laughing about? We'll just keep moving. So they, good luck to those guys in 40 plus. I told you Dwight sent a message in the 40 plus group chat that said, congratulations to the Bulldogs and the Dementors, and said good luck and all. And so I wrote back real quick and I said, he's only saying that because he has to. No one really likes either one of you. And no one thought it was very funny except for Andy and Dwight, which I thought was hilarious. So, but that's our 40 plus team. Those boys will play on Sunday.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Because I don't actually like either one of your teams. I hope you both lose if there's a way to do that. Just kidding. Not really. Then the A-League championship is set too. We had A-League games last night. A couple of close games, actually a little closer in both of them than we thought they were going to be. But again, Andy Ponton, Pete Rossi, our good buddy, Patty Smith, those guys are all playing for the
I'm
Wagons,
seeing I'm
as a
seeing a pattern here. Somehow
yeah,
Ponton's in
Ponton's
all the
figures. But
championships.
look, here's the deal,
That's what
though.
I was
So
laughing at. So
last
there might be.
season, last season, Dwight was in all the championships. Dwight was in the A championship, and Dwight was in
Again,
the
a
40
pattern
plus
here
championship.
of
League
league
directors
directors
swindling their ways to the top. But hang
greasing
on,
their way through.
we'll continue your conspiracy theory because the other team that has made the A League championship is, of course, my team, the Swamp Donkeys. We had a pretty commanding lead last night and watched it dwindle away through some not so great circumstances, but we were able to pull it out in quite comical fashion, actually. But yeah, I got to win. Have actually made it to the championship game all 3 seasons that we've played. We're just the perennial second place.
How
We get to the
ironic.
championship game and get stuffed in a locker. So I'm hoping we do a little better this go around. I know the guys are a little like, maybe we can do a little better, maybe only lose by 1 goal this time. So no, I think the boys are ready to go. Our goalie was sick the last few weeks. He looked a lot better last night. And we were missing a couple guys last night. I'm hoping we might be back closer to full strength on Sunday, maybe. But yeah, so A-League set, 40 set. Which brings us to C-League. We'll talk a few minutes about that because we've still got another round of playoffs for those guys. We got the semis, had the quarterfinals, and we'll just work in reverse because one of those games on a Monday and you didn't watch it, and that was the Spoonbills and the Silver Knights. And really quickly, the Spoonbills handled business pretty good. I think the final score was like 5-1. Their goalie, Chris Jagat, played phenomenal. He's
He's
played in the
just
40
gotten
plus.
better as the
He
season
has.
is.
Yeah.
Chris has
Well, and
just
he
gotten
started
better.
playing 40 plus in addition to C. And so he's been playing some back-to-backs on Monday nights, and it's not phased him one bit. So done really, really well. I've known Chris for a long time, played with his kid, Will. And so shout out to both of those guys. They've played, Will's in an A playing with Andy. They played well. But Chris has played phenomenal behind the Spoonbills. The Robertson boys, Austin Trotter, Taylor Foll, and Jules DeGay, a bunch of guys that I'm familiar with and pretty good players. So good on them for pulling a win. It does have a little bit of an asterisk next to it because the Silver Knights guys only had 10 skaters. They were missing quite a few of their better players. They did have some of their studs there.
No
Shree was there.
asterisk.
Doug Fent was
There's
there.
no need for.
There's no asterisks.
No, you just if you can't make the games in playoffs, you can't make the games in playoffs.
You're just sorry. Your team was your team, and it just didn't work out. So, anyways, Silver Knights guys lost. It is what it is. They were good sports about it for the most part, from what I understand. Talked with Doug a little bit. He's like, "Hey, look, we had a good time, good season. We wish we would have played a little better, but it is what it is." So those guys are in the off season already, hitting the golf course, going to the beach, whatever they want to do. But I think they're pretty hungry to get back out there and play again. So Spoonbills advance. So let's backtrack now to last Thursday. That was when you guys played. So Thursday, our first game was the number 1 seed Zeros playing the Trash
number
Pandas.
1 seed, baby.
There you go. Number
Zeros.
1 seed. That's right. And I watched that whole game. You played in it. You boys handled your business. We had some shenanigans that happened, but you guys kind of kept your cool. We'll go back. We're going to dedicate a podcast to some nonsense that goes on in B League. We're going to talk through some specifics of some stuff that's happened here. One player in particular, we're not going to mention him by name, but if you know number 8, you know who number 8 is. And he was up to number 8 things on Thursday night for sure. So definitely got Cooch in the no-no spot. And I was a little afraid. I saw the whole thing. I was a little afraid Cooch was going to take his head clean off his shoulders, but he didn't. So good on you boys. Played a little flat, but came out with a big dub. What was that, like a 5-2 game for you guys? 6-2, something like that?
Yeah, Willman with a hat trick in one shift.
Yeah, well, I think it took
hey
a couple
guys, I'm
shifts.
still
Yeah,
on
it
my
was
drought
ridiculous.
too. Still on my drought.
Desert Storm rocking it hard over there, buddy.
Still haven't scored. I scored once.
You got a gym buddy. You got a gym buddy that's taking up calling you Desert Storm too every time you show up now, don't you?
Pat.
What's up, Desert Storm? So,
what's up, Desert
Pat? Thanks
Storm?
for listening to the podcast. Keep up the nickname.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Special teams.
Special teams.
Special teams.
So that was our first game. Second game was a shocker. The Ice Hogs, who had been in first place for most of the season, and you guys actually ended up. What was crazy was you guys finished in first, just barely 1 game ahead. Actually, a half a game because they had a tie.
That tie
ahead of those guys, and they were dead even with the Griffins, but they had the head-to-head against the Griffins. So the Ice Hogs guys took second and played the expansion Hornets. and holy smokes, did the
The
Hornets ever come out
Hornets.
and absolutely, that's right. Sorry,
Wow.
we're using their French name. The
The
Hornets
French.
absolutely rolled out and stomped the Ice Hogs into a mud hole. Shout out to our good buddy with the good questions, Zach Sprints, and
Great
those guys in
question.
the
Great
Hornets.
question,
Yeah,
Jeremy
great
Holland.
question. So he had those guys ready to play. I think they were with a little bit of a light bench too, but boy, did they have the right guys. And the Ice Hogs just looked flat. Beat those guys. I think it was like a 3-1 game or something.
Yeah.
But man, it was
And
all
we're playing the
Hornets all
Hornets.
day.
Yeah. We're playing the
Yeah, so you
Hornets
guys,
tomorrow.
that's right. You guys draw the Hornets, so they're coming for blood. I don't think they're really happy about finishing in 7th place. So they'll be looking to topple you boys. So, and then the last game was the Griffins playing the Phantoms, which was kind of it looked a lot like your guys' game, where the Phantoms kind of took it to the Griffins for a bit. It was like a 3-0 lead for the Phantoms.
Yeah.
Before the guys on the Griffins kind of got themselves together and righted the ship. They had their boy Corey Ward back.
Welcome back,
Shout out to
Corey.
Corey. Yeah, welcome back. Appreciate
From
you.
deployment.
That's right. So glad he got back all in one piece, and was happy
He's
to see
playing
him
video
out there
games.
skating again.
Playing video games, flying drones.
He's doing work, Abdoo. He's doing real work. Relax. So yeah, it was good seeing Corey back out there. He admitted he felt a little rusty. They looked a little out of sync, but they kept plucking along. Righted the ship and ended up winning, I think, a 4-3 game or a 5-4 game. It was a 1-goal game.
Good
so,
comeback.
yeah, good fight, good comeback. And you got to sit in the stands and watch that game with me, which was a lot of fun.
Maybe it was my ball busting from the stands that just threw the Phantoms off their game.
Yeah, so that's a good segue. So tonight we want to talk a little bit about our opinions on trash talk and Sealy. But before we jump right into opinions, I already know what your opinion is, right? And so go ahead and give us the lowdown of what happened to you, or let's see. I don't know that
well, how about
you created the whole environment, right? So go ahead and give us your telling of what was going on in the stands during that third game.
Well, can I just backtrack?
Go ahead.
A couple weeks ago, I told Jeremy Holland, and if you guys know me, whether you're in Chicago or Savannah, apparently I run my mouth more than I thought I did. I told Jeremy, I go, you know what, Holland, I don't really talk that much trash when I'm in Chicago. It's just down here. And he goes, well, why is that? And I go, I really don't know. I don't think
I remember why you said. It was the same reason you said you don't celebrate much when you score goals.
I don't celebrate in Chicago.
But we're going to find out. So, Chicago guys, if you're listening to this, you better start popping off in some of the comments here because we got to know the truth. So you said the same thing for both of them. I don't celebrate hard in Chicago, but I do celebrate hard here. I don't pop off at the mouth
around
in
with my
Chicago a lot,
sellies,
but I do pop off at the mouth here. And the reason you said that was if I was in Chicago, I would get the crap kicked out of me if 100%. I kept running my mouth or if I kept celebrating like a goofball. So you had 100% a reason why. But apparently that was all wrong.
You're right. And we're going to get into that today, huh? Yeah. We're going to get into that today.
100%.
The guys down in Savannah, I guess, according to you and a lot of the guys in the C League, I'm well known for just talking trash. But for the record, you said this. I can never quote you correctly on this, but you said, Abdoo, your trash talking is more comical and hilarious compared to some of the guys that are what do we say? We're like NHL tough guy talk, right?
Yeah.
So mine is more comical.
You're more like a funny guy. Like everything you're saying is to be hilarious. It's a bit over the line at some times.
Well, that's where we're going to get to.
Even though it's in the vein of being like, hey, I'm trying to be funny, but it's like, I don't know. I think you may be hurting some feelings with some of the things you're saying. It's not that funny.
Playing hockey.
It's not so much like, hey, you're an awful person, or hey, I'm going to come after you, or whatever. Or like, hey, I just undressed you. You didn't see that. Like whatever. Yours is, it's different.
All right. Well, so
go
Thursday.
Ahead. All right. So we've got that out of the way. So we're back at Thursday. You're sitting. I'm sitting with a couple of directors. We're watching
three admins that just happened to make it to the championship. All three of them just happened to make it to the championship every season.
No, Dwight's done.
He made it to the championship last season.
Dwight made no championships this season. We righted that ship. We got rid of Dwight.
Basically, the three amigos that just happened to make a championship at least some point. They're sitting on my left hand side. Your brother's sitting behind me. And
you don't have to draw a map, Abdoo. Just tell the story.
The Phantoms.
Brother.
special teams, special plays, special players. Um, and there's a guy on the Phantoms. I'm just gonna use last names. His name is Kraft. Guy went to guy went to hockey camp, and for some reason, when we played against him, I said you need to get your money back because you're getting worse. You
See,
know,
this is the
and
part that congratulations, you've made me a little uncomfortable.
really,
It's okay. Keep going. Don't
all right,
stop.
good.
Just
So
so you're aware, we're
yeah, was
there.
it Montana or Vermont, somewhere where there's
Vermont. It was
mountains?
in Vermont, is what you
All
told
right,
me.
I call him Brokeback Hockey Camp
Somewhere where
legend.
there was mountains.
Yeah, somewhere. So I give him Brokeback Hockey Camp legend. He was skating on Thursday and just fell down. No one's around him. Your niece is laughing her butt off, and I go, "Get your money back.
Well, you got
Get
to
your
bring my
money
niece
back.
into it.
You're. I guess get your money back. You're horrible." His wife is sitting to the right of me, maybe 10 chairs in front of me. She looks right at me. And then your brother goes, she just looked right at you. She just looked right at you. I'm like, I don't care. Like, good. And then he was in front of the net and he took a shot and just missed everything. Like, and look, I've messed up on shots, but I've never gone to hockey camp as a grown man. And it got really quiet. It just happened to get really quiet. And I just yelled, I bet you if that was your boyfriend, you would have hit that. And then I just hear dead silence and it echoed. And you even said, someone on the bench has said, Abdoo, we all can hear you.
There was somebody was in the penalty box, and it was post game. We were talking to one of them, and you said something about, could you guys hear me talking on the ice? And whoever was in the penalty box was like, yes, I could hear you. We could all hear you on the ice. So yeah, no, it was very, very clear. You were not saying this only for our ears sitting in the stands. You were making sure that you were projecting your voice just as loud as you could possibly project your voice with all of your comments. And so I want to be clear. I want to clarify something from where I stand on this, right? Just so that we're clear, right? So I have no problem with any player at all deciding I want to go get better at hockey. The guy we're describing is very, very, very new to hockey. And this is really important to understand a lot of this story because this is going to be a big part of it. He is very, very, very new to hockey, very new. So I got no problem with a grown man going to hockey camp. It is a little comical that you are a grown man and you went to hockey camp. That is
and
a
you get
little,
worse.
it does make me laugh a little bit, but I'm all for it. Like, if you want to keep trying to get better, I'm totally good with anybody like choosing any avenue to get better. Now, the reason that he has become like the target of all your comments,
yes,
that is kind of what we're really getting at here is like, there's a bigger thing. But the funny part is that the story doesn't end where like, hey, I'm just popping up. Like, you called him hockey camp like 40 times from the stands, like screamed hockey camp, camp legend and all this other stuff, right? And his wife was legit sitting, what, 40, 50 feet away from us? She was not right next to us.
Nope.
She was way away from us and down.
When I said, if that was your boyfriend, I bet you would have hit that. I go, Chris, did she look there? And he was like, I just kept my head down. I didn't want to make
everyone stopped looking over there. I was being very careful to make sure I wasn't associated with you. And so, but it was, of course, the directors were laughing at what you were saying. And just the other two directors have no insight to why you're saying what you're saying. They're just hearing somebody making like smart comments, right? So all that gets said, the game gets over. Those guys lose. They were winning.
Let's rewind it a bit because the reason why I come back at him is because, or I go after him is because what we were talking about at the beginning, this guy talks garbage to, it's not in a comical way. It's like an F you kind of way.
Hey. All right. We've addressed this off air. Quit filtering. Just talk. I'm good with it. Like, we're fine. We're talking about some nonsense.
Right, well, then he just talks garbage in an FU kind of way where he thinks he's some tough guy where he's not. And I just do it in a ball busting way. So that's where him and I have kind of our back and forth.
Well, he started popping off at you. We talked about this earlier today. He started popping off at you last year in a little beer league tournament that we both played on. And he started mouthing off, calling you a cherry picker. And you were like, who the heck are you to call anybody a cherry picker? And then you saw him skating and you were like, this guy can't even stand up. Like, did your
Right.
mom lace your skates for you? Like, what are you doing? Why are you calling me a cherry picker? What's your problem? Like, he doesn't know who you are. And so it
Never
got
met
under
him.
your
And he
skin.
just,
Yeah.
yes. And since
It got
then,
under your
since the
skin, and
hockey
I can
tournament,
totally understand. I found
yes.
out this season that he popped off at my kid brother who's playing with you. My kid
Yeah.
brother's played pretty good
And
hockey.
that's what,
And he started,
that's when
I
the
know, I
referees are
know
like,
we're gonna get, I know we're going there, we're going there. So again, there's a little bit of a history here of this guy kind of
yes.
popping off. And so he popped off at my kid brother, made some smart comments about, oh, you're cheating playing down in A League and whatever. My kid brother, not one to back down, looks and is like, hey, big boy, come on the ice and run your mouth. Like, come on out here and talk some trash. And so my brother is not one to really talk a bunch, but he is a lot like where it's like, hey, if you want to talk, come on onto the ice. We can settle this right out here. I'm not going to mouth off at you. I don't have a bunch of witty comments to say to you, but I'll handle it out here on the rink. And so my brother's a lot like me. And so, yeah, no, we can go into how that sets you off if we want to, but let's come back to that in a second. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
So
after all the
rewind back to all the name calling and everything. The game is over. We get up and we're walking back. So we're walking out of the stands and walking down kind of the back entrance to where the locker rooms and things are, because we walk out the back door from our rink, right? And so,
yeah. And she was downstairs. So his wife was downstairs. She can, you can see it's like a loft kind of area. She just happened to have her camera on, but it was like in selfie mode, so she could see herself and who's behind her. I didn't know this, but you and your brother go, yo, she was filming you. She was filming you. And I'm like, oh, I don't care. I go down the stairs, and then you guys were behind me, and then I just hear, who's talking crap about me? Who's talking crap about me? I thought you guys were still behind me, and I turn to the corner and I go, right here, it was me. And he goes, oh, let me guess, hockey camp this, hockey camp that. And I go, yeah. And I go, it's nothing out of the ordinary. And then I go, but you did totally whiff on a shot. And I said, if that was your boyfriend, you would have hit that. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's really funny. And I go, and your wife didn't have to videotape me. She didn't have to videotape me.
And the best part about all of that was I had no intention of like abandoning you. We came down the
Oh
stairs.
yeah.
No, seriously. We came down the stairs and I was walking down after you and my brother, and the other two directors, well, it was just it was just two of us at that point. Andy had left. So the other director, Dwight, and I were talking about playoffs and things, about what was left to go. And we stopped at the bottom of the stairs and we're talking a little bit about that. And I heard the comment of, who was talking crap? And I thought, oh, I recognized the voice. And I was like, oh no. And I turned just in time to see you bust through the big Zamboni curtain like a WWE wrestler walking out onto the stage for the first time. And I thought, oh no, like, what is he doing? And I hear you, it was me. And I'm like, no. I was like, well, he can't get to you, because if he tries to run to you from where he's at, I knew there was concrete between you guys. And so if it's comedy watching him skate, it would have been way better watching him try to walk across the concrete to try to get to you. So I knew he wasn't going to come to you. I was more worried about you walking over to him, because I think you lose like your brain waves sometimes. You're like, oh, I'll just go over here. This can't go that bad. And like, no, Abdoo, could go really, really bad. Just stop.
I thought all of it through. I thought all of it through.
You didn't think any of that through. That was reactionary. I could tell by the way you said it was me. I was like, no, don't admit to that. Just be like, I don't know who it was. Oh my gosh.
And look,
it was
absurd. I have respect for the guy. It's not like I'm trying to start some kind of rivalry or beef or anything like that with him.
You're just not a big fan of like the mouthing off part.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. So this gets to where the whole point of this at all is how we actually feel about like guys who trash talk in a beer league. And I think that's part of like, so you know where I stand. Like, I don't really run my mouth like that. It's not really my thing.
Unless it's after a game and then you say, I have to adjust to your speed, or, that's still,
talk.
Oh, it is.
That's not trash talk. Those are hurtful words. Those are hurtful words. It's not trash talk. Words hurt. I got it. Yeah. But I don't call people hockey camp and tell them if it was their boyfriend.
Because you didn't think of it. You didn't think of it.
My brain doesn't function like that.
Or D cups.
But yeah,
or D cups.
D cups. If we use D cups as an example, yeah, perfect.
D cups.
So
a great one.
Yeah. So I don't. I'm not a huge fan of trash talk now, and we talked about this, and the reason, like, I have a problem again with this particular player we're talking about, and other guys that we've played with in C League that have kind of mouthed off at various times. Like, I have a problem with guys who are clearly not good at hockey And then the bigger thing for me is like they don't really know hockey. So like they say dumb things that just don't make sense. They argue with a ref about a call. Like, why is the guy coming out of the box and my guy's having to sit? Well, your guy got a double minor, so he has to sit for an extra 2 minutes. If you paid attention, you would know that. Like, or well, like, why aren't my guys coming out of the box? We scored a goal. Well, there was a matching penalty, dummy. Like, if you understand some basics of hockey, like you won't be asking stupid questions and mouthing off at the ref. And so guys like that, it irritates me when those guys run their mouth, because now I feel like I'm not responding to you chirping. I'm actually responding to stupidity from you, where you
Yes.
just don't understand what's going on and you're just mad about it. So I get irritated with that. Like if there's a really good player that runs his mouth and is like, oh, buddy,
Correct.
just totally undressed you or had you all bound up or twisted you in a knot or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear all of that, because like 100%, like, yeah, you absolutely did. Like, it's fine. And I've never been one that my mouth back about that or tried to chirp at guys or mouth off if I did anything good. I was always like, hey, do your job, don't celebrate, get off the rink, whatever. So I've never been a huge fan of trash talk, but I don't have a problem if guys that are good are doing it. It really drives me nuts when guys that are not talented start mouthing off. That kind of gets under my skin.
And
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the new guys. And there's are some skaters that somewhat know the sport. I just think they go to many Ghost Pirate games and they see the players do that, or they watch too much NHL and they think that, hey, these guys,
I think it's
this is what
watched
I
too much
see.
NHL. Yeah, I think
Yes.
I've heard a couple of guys that have mouthed off about stuff that are real quick to kind of work towards their explanation, be like, well, the NHL such and such. I'm like, boys,
Yep.
look, this is so far from the NHL we're doing.
Correct.
This is like U8 compared to what the NHL is doing. Like, don't even don't even come up over here with like, oh, well, the NHL does thus and such. Like, buddy, we're not even in the same hemisphere. Like, that's not even like, stop. So
And that's why I said I don't, or that's why I thought I don't run my mouth in Chicago, because I would just, like, if I called someone a hockey camp legend in Chicago, and I would probably get my ass beat. But that comes to this, Mike Franzone.
So yeah,
I just
yeah. So this was my favorite part. So
go ahead.
you told me like, hey, I don't think I really run my mouth that much. And I was like, the funny thing is, our intro, you've called me the nanny, the au pair, the babysitter, like so many things, to the point where, like, true story here, one of the guys that we know we have a problem with in the league, he runs his mouth, he does dumb things. I've told you, I've expressed concern to you about like, hey, I don't know what the guy may or may not do, right? You guys played them earlier in the season. It was a big ordeal between you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Several of your guys who are really not typically mouthy got to mouth it off with the guy. The guy ends up getting multiple penalties and gets ejected from the game for crossing the 3 penalty threshold. Still acted like a buffoon after that. Again, we'll cover all that on another podcast. But the guy is just kind of a problem when with some of these things. So I told you post game, you were like, hey, next time we play him, like, I'm going to run my mouth and see if I can get him, ejected again. I said, no, you are not. Like, as a director of the league and as your friend, I said, if you try to put me in that position, I will 100% find the ref before the game and tell him, if Abdoo so much as breathes in that guy's direction, start giving Abdoo penalties. 100%. The referees know who you are. They know you by name. They know me very well from the director position. And so they 100% would have done it. And because you have a tremendous amount of respect for me, you said, okay, fine, I won't do it. Then you come at me when we start talking about this podcast topic about trash talk, and you're like, I don't know, I don't even really trash talk that much. I was like, wait a minute. I had to beg you not to trash talk and then threaten you with getting you kicked out of a game to stop you from trash talking, and you think you don't trash talk that much. So the best part of all of this was you put out the request. You're like, hey, guys, hit us up. How do you feel about trash talking? What do you want us to talk about? We didn't get a lot of responses. So I was like, hey, call the guys in Chicago. Just reach out to a couple of guys personally, like, hey, what do you think about trash talk? You remembered like halfway through last week, you're like, oh, I remember asking some guys like what their first impression of me was. And you said 2 of the first guys that said anything were like, I remember you running your mouth on the bench and I really didn't like you that much. And I was like, how on earth did you think that you weren't trash talking in Chicago?
Again, people, my trash talking is more comical. It's nothing like
still trash talking.
Well, I'm just gonna tell a couple of stories.
It's
I'm gonna
tolerable. I'll tolerate your trash talking. I'm fine with it. Like, it's not like mocking people or arguing or complaining, or whatever, but it is 100% like making fun of people.
And
it
for
is
the record,
comical, but the wrong guys, it can get under their skin.
and for the record, people, I know that I'm not good at hockey, so uh, it makes me feel more part of the team when
I
I just
also feel like I have to remind everyone that listens to this. Not only does Abdoo admit he is not good at hockey, it is documented in our hockey league with an official letter from his captain that he is not good because he is old, broken, and decrepit. So, but go ahead, continue to talk
all
about the
right.
Chicago guys. I need to hear this. This is confirmation of what we already knew. This was such a good therapy session earlier today. I loved it.
I'll start with uh, my good friend Mike Franzone. He's a fireman. I believe he's a lieutenant now. So after my hockey injury, I did not play, and then he got me back on a team. I'm not allowed to say the team name. Um, Good bunch of guys, and I have always said they are the bad news bears of hockey. But a great, great core of team. Um, and he said, let me just scroll through this. Everyone knew we weren't a playoff team. Most of the guys just played for the fun, but you were so competitive. You got to the point where you'd call out benders.
Wow, this sounds really familiar.
Right. I feel you were so competitive you called out benders in a game. I recall a ref standing by my net on a timeout asking the bench if I always fought like that, and I had no idea what he's talking about. Apparently, he had words for our own players of how bad he sucked. The captain came up to me at the time and was like, Abdoo's chirping our players. Our players. And then he goes, I recall the name of who was involved, but I'm going to leave it out because I know this is going to be on a podcast. And I'm like, that's
Good
fine.
call. Good call.
There was almost a mutiny. I was told since I brought you in, I had to talk to you. I recall reminding you we knew we were bad at hockey and to keep it to yourself or you were going to get booted.
Keep it to yourself. If you don't have anything nice to say, Abdoo, don't
I
say
believe
anything
that
at all.
he goes, I believe that was your last season with the team and then you started your own team, which is true. It is true. That's when sodomy started.
Oh my gosh. It was
And
so
he
bad.
goes,
You couldn't give up. I can't believe this. Your trash talk was so bad you had to go form your own team that you're very proud of to
where I
this
had
day, and
free reign
rightfully
and just
so. Yeah, and you were like, I don't have any problems trash talking in
that
Chicago.
was
I
like the
never did
Jeremy
any of that.
Holland trying to stifle me, like trying to mute me and just not talk. So I'm like, you know what? He was the Chicago. So Franzone, we're
Franzone, the
gonna have him
Chicago
on the podcast.
babysitter.
He is.
The nanny. I love
And
it.
then he even says, "You recall what I'm talking about, right?" I'm like, yeah,
You do. You
yeah.
do. 'Cause
And then he said
that
that
text.
he said the team actually wanted to lynch you and attack you and get
Whoa,
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
All right. We've gone back to uncomfortable with Jeremy
So
now.
then there's another guy. We're gonna have him on the podcast too. James Wodek, really good guy, really good player. There was a time where we were playing against each other. We never knew each other. We just knew each other like through hockey. Always played against each other. And he just sent me a text saying, you know, the one thing about Abdoo is he was very quick witted. He always had something to say about the other team. Just very snarky a hole. And to this day, he's a snarky a hole. And then he told me my favorite story was you and I after all of this, after I shut him up with my words, we started becoming really good friends. We started becoming really good friends, and we ended up playing on the same team. And one guy on the other team was like saying to another player, Dylan Beebe, really good skater. The other guy was like, you know what? You'd be a really good player if you just wouldn't use your mouth. And I just looked at him and I go, oh, like you're not good with your mouth. Think about it.
My God.
Think about it. And the guy just looked at me and he didn't know what to say. James is just like, oh my God, you just said that out loud. You just said that. So I have some other stories. We're getting almost 45 minutes here, 40 minutes.
Oh
I'm
my
going to let my
gosh.
friends, when we have my friends on the podcast,
Oh
I'll
my
let
gosh.
them tell the story.
Chicago peeps, look, if you're listening to this one, we're coming to you guys. We're going to try to get a couple of you, hopefully on the next pod, at least one of you. I know you guys are listening. I know you guys are hearing all these Savannah stories and are like, who are these guys? We're going to get you guys on here. I'm telling you boys, I need the stories about Abdoo because I need to know that he's Abdoo is so unaware of the
I
trash
had no
talking.
idea.
Today, he legit, it was a therapy session for like 20 minutes with he and I on the
Oh
phone
man.
as he was getting all these text messages like, oh no, buddy, you ran your mouth like hugely in Chicago. He was like, man, I can't believe I was so blind to this. I can't believe I didn't realize this. I'm like, how on
100%.
earth did you not realize this? I could have told you this, and I've only known you for a year and a half. Like, it's not like you were magically a different person there. The older we get, usually we soften up a little bit and stop with it. So I'm getting the mild version of Jeremy Abdoo. That means I know the stories have to be flowing back in Chicago. So, guys, Chicago peeps, if you're listening to this, the next time you see Abdoo, jump on one of the social platforms. Like, come on, blow up the comments. I need to see the
give us some
stories. Like,
comments and share
seriously,
this.
I
And
gotta hear the stories. I know they exist.
I mean, I get like when we went to that pizza party that we had with that Cooch hosted. I get why Wade Task goes, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. He came up to me and he goes, yeah, when I first met Jeremy, I didn't like him. Didn't like him at all. I hated him.
That's what's so funny. You're talking about these teams that were back in Chicago, and these guys are like, "Oh man, we didn't want you on the team. We didn't want to be around you, and you were a nuisance." And like, why is that guy yelling at my own teammates? And I'm like, I feel like we need to call the Zeros guys and be like, "Hey guys, you should probably listen to this podcast. I'll guarantee you have some friends in Chicago you don't even know about yet." Like, oh
you, the common denominator is me.
Oh my gosh,
but
Abdoo, bringing people together over their hatred for his nonsense spewed out of his mouth.
If I were like to play against Marola and run my mouth, I wouldn't do that because he would just shut me up. And
so
yeah,
I love it. I love that you just like stepped all over yourself there, because what you literally just said was, hey, if you're not a good player, I don't feel like you're a decent player. Congratulations. I'm going to run my mouth to you. So for everyone that has had, that's 100%. You just said, hey, if I'm playing against Marola, who you've openly admitted is a phenomenal player, really good hockey player, I would never run my mouth with him. He would not put up with that. So guys, if Abdoo's run his mouth at you,
you're not a good player.
You know what he thinks of your hockey skills. That's it. There it is.
Well, hold on. Let me think. Franzone's a good player. I've run my mouth to Franzone.
Sorry, James Franzone. At one point, and James, he probably didn't think you were that good if he was popping off at the mouth.
James
he doesn't
Wodak,
think you're as good as Marola, that's for sure. You're underneath Marola's skill level.
It's like I wouldn't go. Oh, well, here's the thing. My nephew's better than me. I have no problem running my mouth to him.
That's family. That's way different. I chirp my brother all the time, and I am a non-chirper. You have seen it because I've been on the ice with him. With the first game he came back and played in, I dummied him twice, right? I got him on the board.
I've run my mouth to you.
I'm not a good player. We've 100%. Again,
you're an A-leaguer.
That's okay.
You're an A-leaguer, though.
I'm a cheater and an A-leaguer. Yeah, we've established that. No, but I chirped my brother the first time he came back. I think I played with you guys.
Yeah.
And I dummied him twice. Toe dragged him really bad. I set him up for that one. And then I chipped it past him on the boards on another one, took off and scored. And both times I made sure to come back around and find him and chirp him a little bit. So, but to be fair, he got me when I played in the beer league tournament that he came and watched in when I teed up the one-timer and absolutely fanned on it. He was really quick to laugh pretty loud from the stands. But that's different. That's family. I'm all good with family mouthing off back and forth. That's family. That's different.
Oh, here's the other thing. Like when I was playing against the Hornets, it was only one referee, and I was just playing around. Like I was just clowning around. And Lindsay, his wife, goes, you can go ahead and get a penalty on him. Go ahead and just get a penalty. Like,
why you got to make her sound like that, Lindsay? I don't think you talk that way. That's just Abdoo's weird impersonation.
Right, well,
I'm really sorry about that.
Really good. So, anyways, there was only one referee. He was way ahead of me. I took the butt end of my stick and I just went wham, and I just saw him buckle. And I apologized to Zach, and I'm going to do it again one more time. I apologized to him 20 times in 2 shifts. And he's like, it's okay. That's great. I like that. It's great. But he buckled. He went right to he just got onto the ice. I looked at him, butt ended him with my stick. And then it was like one of those big brother moments where you're horsing around and then you injure him and then you feel bad. And I felt horrible. But
yeah, moral of the story, folks. Moral of the story. Not only does Abdoo run his mouth, he's
dirty
a jerk
player
and takes cheap shots at people that are new to hockey. So
I did it to my friends.
What an absolute animal.
I did it to my
absolute animal and a menace on the ice. So
that's what Ponton called me.
We'll be having another directors meeting here. You may be receiving another email very soon. So
at least I hit my friends.
Makes it so much better. I only abuse my friends. Congratulations, everybody. Oh man. All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. We had a couple other topics we were going to get in, but we're up against time. hope you guys have enjoyed it. Trying to get a little more of what we appreciate the feedback you guys have been giving us. And so we're trying to do a little bit. We've played with the mics. We're hoping the mic's a little better. That's all on me. I apologize for totally drowning Abdoo out and things like that. So
He
we're
just
trying to get
wants
it fixed.
all the
Trying to take
airtime
the
and
spotlight. Yeah, I'm just jealous of your humor and tried to just make it as quiet as possible. So, but yeah, we appreciate you guys for listening. We'll
love
have
it,
some
guys.
more
Thank you.
podcasts out. Hey, jump in the comments on the Spotify, on YouTube, in the Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening, wherever
And
you're watching.
social media,
Yeah,
Facebook,
give them a like,
Instagram.
give them a follow, so you guys can keep up to date with the new podcast. Follow the Facebook page, follow the Instagram page. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we'll keep doing it. So appreciate you guys for listening. Stay
Thanks
tuned.
for listening, guys. All right.
See you next time. Peace.
Bye. Tuesday.